Captain! Come on! 250! Come on! If I could bring back any Trek, I think we would have to have a 5th season of Enterprise. It's been a long road, getting from there to here. If we could just hear that one more time, or 22 more times, give me some more episodes of Enterprise. I mean, look, we'll get into this in a bit, but I think we could bring Trip back, right? Get Archer and his crew back out there. Let's see some early Enterprise days. Let's learn some more backstory into the wonderful universe that is Star Trek. If I could bring back anything at all as a show right now, or create a new show even, I would have a season 5 of Enterprise.
First of all, a massive thank you for getting us to 250,000 subscribers. And on a personal note, I just want to say thank you for everyone being so welcoming towards me within this community. I really do feel like part of the family. I would really like to see a prequel to The Next Generation. I'd like to see what led those characters to Starfleet. I'd like to see their time at the Academy, and the stories that you hear them tell, I want to see them on screen. That kind of will they, won't they relationship between Picard and Crusher. I want to see that history. I want to know more. And although you do know more by what they say, I want to see it.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a Star Trek show that are just stories from serious science fiction novel writers. They could be guided by TV writers, but that's what I would love to see.
Hi, hello, Adam Cleary. Some of you remember me? Probably not. Anyway, hello, nice to see you all. Congratulations to us, I guess, for 250,000 subs. Haha, etc., etc. Anyone getting COVID flashbacks? No good. Let's carry on. So, what Star Trek series do I want to see made? I, personally, the protagonist of reality, have always wanted to see them make a Star Trek anthology series set in the quote-unquote lost era of Trek, which is pretty much from the moment Kirk gets sucked out of the Enterprise B's hull to the moment the Enterprise D arrives at Farpoint Station. So pretty much from the end of the original series of movies to the start of the 90s television shows. There is so much you could talk about, so many dots you could connect, so many jigsaw pieces you could put in that have been alluded to, been talked about. We know the broad strokes, but the character stuff has never ever been explored. You've got the entire run of the Enterprise B and the Enterprise C. You've got like Janeway as an ensign. You've got Sisko as a family man on the Saratoga. You've got all the various wars Starfleet managed to accidentally get themselves into despite being a peacekeeping organization. I would just love that, like 10 episodes, everything set, different story, different time, etc., etc. And think how good Short Treks was, right? Now imagine that, but set in the sleeves have been fully rolled up, set in the entire chronology of Star Trek. I think that would absolutely rule. I would watch I don't swear on this channel anymore, do we? I would watch the phaser noise out of that.
Congratulations to everybody else here at TrekCulture for 250,000 subscribers. My name's Marcus Fry. I'm a writer for TrekCulture and What Culture, and the creator of the science fiction musical Method of Gravity here on YouTube. I also do custom music video commissions, and right now I'm working on a remaster of my first project with my friend, the producer Lucy Lowe. Now, let's talk some Star Trek. The Star Trek show that I want to see is one based around the Temporal Integrity Commission from the Voyager episodes Relativity and Future's End. They're basically like the 29th century time police of Starfleet, and the show would be like a sort of Doctor Who style thing where they would go to different periods in the Star Trek history and sort of lend a hand or fix temporal anomalies or whatever. It would be cool because they could visit certain eras from the show's history, from the 22nd century all the way to like 32nd century with Discovery, and even beyond that. And we could visit key moments in Star Trek's history, like First Contact or the creation of the Borg, for example. And I don't know, maybe I've been watching too much Doctor Who recently, but I think it would be really cool.
250,000 subscribers. I'm Chris, the channel manager of TrekCulture, so believe me when I say thank you. I don't think I've ever had this much gratitude for anything in my life, genuinely. So it means so much. It wouldn't be possible without you. I've been consistently impressed. Like every time we set targets like the 100,000 or the 200,000 target, you guys have responded each time. So thank you so much for that. What Star Trek show would I like to see made? Answer. I did have down season 5 of Enterprise, but we talk about that a lot on the channel. Anytime Sean talks about season 5 of Enterprise or does a video about season 5 of Enterprise, that's my doing. Apologies for that. But in the interest of time, Tom, I think I want to use my ITV's Benidorm but on Risa idea. I've been tweeting about it for a while now. I'm just waiting for them to bite, really. So you got this family here. Just imagine that they're the O'Briens, right? And you got this dude here, he's a Ferengi, right? And this is Matteo, right? He's Risa born and bred. Just imagine like the cheapest holiday packages in the Alpha and Beta quadrant, full English breakfasts, you know, for all in the quadrant, you know, comedy. Just that's my idea in a nutshell, really. ITV's Benidorm, but on Risa.
Hi, I'm Martin from TrekCulture. I'm one of the video editors. I'm the one that puts all the hologons and all sorts of hidden stuff in the videos. And I'm here to answer some questions. Personally, I'm a sucker for the mythos of the past. There's a big gap between where we are now and where the TV shows and movies are. There is a lot of information in there that we don't know about. We've heard little bits and pieces. And personally, I'd like to know more about that. You'd have to get a bit creative with the writing, because when they started coming up with things like eugenics wars and World War III, it's kind of creeping into past where we've gone now. But you know, they can get creative with the writing. But it's not very Trek. It's all about wars. Yeah, you kind of get that a bit in DS9. But really, Trek is about character development. It's about looking at ourselves through a different lens and, you know, just trying to see ourselves in different ways. And I don't think that it would give much of an opportunity for it, but I'd still love to see it.
Hey guys, thank you so much. 250,000 subscribers. Let me just tell you really quickly, I joined this channel nearly 3 years ago now, and we were so excited at every milestone, every single milestone. But if you'd asked me then if I thought we'd get to 250,000 subscribers, I would have been like, look, I don't know, I don't think so. We'll just be happy with whatever we get. You have completely just blown away my expectations and my hopes for this channel. So thank you so much. Like really, I'm not gonna gush. I just really want to thank you for all of the support and everything that you've shown. What Star Trek show would you like to see made? I don't think this is going to be a shock to anyone. I want to see a lost era. I want to see what's going on with the Enterprise B, the Enterprise C, and that period of Star Trek's history. There's so much there. There's, you know, right up until the Stargazer even. But there's so much history. I particularly want to see depicted on screen. I want to see the Tomed incident. I want to see what's going on with the Tal Shiar. I want to see what's going on with Harriman. Like, these are just brilliant story ideas that are, I think, are just perfect for the taking. Whether it's an anthology series, whether it's a full multi-season order, that's what I would really like to see made.
So 250,000 subscribers is actually 150,000 more than the official Star Trek YouTube channel, which I think that just makes us the official Star Trek YouTube channel. What Star Trek show do I want to see made? I really want to see that 7 of 9 Raffi show finally get made. They've been teasing us for years about that, and that just like makes the most sense to me. I really love the mixing and matching that Star Trek Picard is doing with Voyager and TNG characters, and I think that spin-off of Picard could be really successful at continuing that and also drawing in Deep Space Nine characters and I guess even like Lower Decks characters. So yeah, more 25th century, please. If it was me, I would pitch like a Young Worf show, like Young Worf at Starfleet Academy. I know that like it's kind of hacky to suggest a prequel to a legacy character, but I do think that Worf is a really compelling character. We know a lot about his backstory, but we've never really seen it dramatized. And Worf, as an immigrant, moving to the Federation, I think would provide the franchise with a really interesting, compelling perspective And also Worf is just kind of a hilarious character, so yeah.
250k. TrekCulture, 250k. You got 250k pre-evolved salamander people to hit subscribe on your channel? Congratulations. What Star Trek show do I want to see made? Well, the easy answer to that is the one that will pay me to work on it. One day. But besides that, and my vanity aside, I actually would really love a Star Trek politics show, kind of sorta in the same vein as a West Wing series, where we would follow the president of the Federation having to deal with all the politics and machinations of dealing with the United Federation of Planets. I mean, we've seen throughout Star Trek how much there is to mine in politics of this universe. I mean, Deep Space Nine itself was dealing with all of that, but you even had stuff like in Star Trek Picard with the synth ban and anti-synth sentiment and the Romulan diaspora after the supernova that destroyed their planet and star empire. So like, what would a show be that's dealing with, Romulan refugees and, synthetic prejudice and codifying that into law and dealing with like the core Federation planets versus maybe the planets on the outer rim of the Federation? And is there any discussion of resources and things like that? Like, a show like that could be so exciting and fun, and I think could really flesh out and codify a lot of the more nebulous parts of the Star Trek universe. And then something that I always wanted to see within a show like that is actually have like Bashir be brought back into the Star Trek universe, but he actually is working for Section 31 and is like the president's liaison to Section 31, but is actually working within Section 31 to bring it down with his best buddy and sometimes lover, Garrick.
Hello everyone, it's Tom Roberts-Finn here, video editor, sometimes presenter for TrekCulture, and I just want to thank you all for 250,000 subscribers. When I first joined TrekCulture, we were just over 100,000, so I'm going to assume that 150,000 more is all because of me. The Star Trek show I'd like to see made would be a Starfleet Academy show. Now, it's been talked about over the years here and there, but I really feel like it has some potential. It could be a serious show about previously seen characters like Picard, or it could be new characters completely, and we could see the hardships that they have to go through from entering the Academy to becoming a Starfleet officer. It could be anything from, say, Community to Gilmore Girls. Each episode could be a lesson or a course that they're taking. I think there's so many things you can do with it, and it seems silly that they're not taking the opportunity to do something that I feel like a lot of people would be interested in.
Hi TrekCulture, congratulations on 250,000 subscribers. What an achievement. To answer your questions, what sort of Star Trek show would I want to see made? Well, I could tell you, but I also could just make the show. Okay, how about this? Star Trek Cyrano Jones, Tribble Trader. Or Star Trek The Soong Chronicles. Or Star Trek Chill Vibes, hanging out in Tin Forward. Where they just hang out and try Neelix's new recipes and, finally get to the bottom of what that green stuff is that Scotty drinks in Relics. And before I get letters, I know it's Aldebaran whiskey, I just don't know why it's green.
Hello, my name is Samuel Cockings, aka Commander Cockings of Trekyards, the Star Trek web series looking at ships and tech of Trek, as well as reviewing all the modern iterations of the Star Trek franchise. I'm here to say a giant, humongous congratulations to TrekCulture for the 250,000, that's 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is phenomenal. You guys do tremendous work, so much hard work. We know at Trekyards how much time and effort it takes. And you guys are just putting out so much great content with so many great people behind the scenes, and thanks for inviting me to be part of this celebration video. I think I'd actually commission a runabout TNG era exploration show. Different, I know. You have to build then a full 360 runabout set from the cockpit to the back room, including little things in between, the sleeping deck, all the elements that you can actually, just like the Firefly in Firefly, walk from one set to the next fully. And because it's a smaller ship with a smaller range, it's a very character-based show. You pick 4 to 6 people, give them really deep characters, and the crew will be assigned to do the smaller missions. Because they're in the TNG era, you can of course use the classic uniforms, referred to canon as happening or has happened in TNG. You can use the entire pantheon of characters referencing or voiceover roles from TNG Voyager DS9, And of course, if you want to show a new fancy ship, you have them wear the DS9 Voyager uniforms with the coloured shoulders, and you're going to get to have that bit of fun as well. And, you know, it'd be a different sort of show. Maybe not a 7-season sort of show, but, you know, the opposite of DS9 in a way.
Hey everybody, Captain Foley from Trekyards here. I want to give a huge congratulations to TrekCulture for reaching 250,000 subscribers. Everybody over there, Sean, Bronzy, Chris, everybody that's involved with TrekCulture should be really proud. You guys do fantastic work. Keep it up. We'll all be watching. And here's to another 250,000 more. Because you guys, you've earned it. And you're going to get there. Personally, I'd like to see a show that's CG animated. So, I mean, you make the assets and you can reuse them. Much in the same vein as Star Trek Prodigy, that kind of animation. But have each episode be something completely different. Like I said, an anthology show where 1 week we're TOS, next week we're post-Nemesis, the week after that we're like early Federation Archer days, and then you go to the Lost Era for one, where you can incorporate all the different eras, have different crews, different ships, different adventures. They don't all have to tie together. Half-hour-long format would be great, just little half-hour-long adventures. You get to get a feel for the variety of crews and adventures and ships that take place in the Star Trek universe. I think that would be a fantastic thing to see. And we do honestly need to see the Lost Era at some point. So that'd be a good way to kind of slip that in there. But it's something for all Star Trek fans. You can have different eras and everybody gets to see what they want to see. I think that would be fantastic.
I want to start by giving the biggest possible thank you to all of our fans for helping us to get to 250,000 subscribers. We literally could not have done it without you. I think all of us want to be in Star Trek in some way, whether it's acting, showrunning, writing, or producing. I know if I was in charge of Star Trek, I would personally bring back the idea of the Academy show. The idea of an Academy show has been around for years, but has never gotten off the ground. Whether it's from behind-the-scenes issues or just a change of heart, we don't really know. But what I do know is that I wish it existed.
Hey folks, Steve Shives here, guy on YouTube. I make videos where I talk about a lot of things, including Star Trek, which some folks seem to enjoy. And that works out well for me because I enjoy talking about Star Trek in my videos. I feel a little silly explaining what I do because I feel like if you're watching this channel, you're probably familiar with the general format. Well done to everybody at TrekCulture for reaching 250,000 YouTube subscribers. Must be nice. In all seriousness, I think this is awesome. I want to say congratulations to everybody at TrekCulture on 250,000 subs. You deserve every single one of those 250,000 subs and a whole hell of a lot more too. So everybody at TrekCulture, warmest, sincerest congratulations for me and keep up the great work. What Star Trek show do you want to see made? You know, people have asked me this off and on for years, and up until a few months ago, I didn't really have a good, solid answer, but then I was working on one of my videos and doing research, and I was looking at the original Star Trek pitch that Gene Roddenberry made to NBC back in 1964, the one that starts with the line, "Star Trek is," and that pitch is also where we get the phrase, wagon train to the stars, as a way of sort of summarizing what Star Trek is. And I thought, why not do literally that show? Like, why not do a Star Trek show that is like a Star Trek version of Wagon Train, like a more direct version? Because in the old Western show, Wagon Train, that Roddenberry was talking about, it was about a group of pioneers, a group of settlers who were setting out from St. Louis and were on their way to California to settle there. So what if we did a Star Trek show where the story of each season of the show was about a group of people who were going to start a new Starfleet or Federation colony on some planet way, way out on the far edge of Federation territory. And the story of the season was, in the first episode, they start from Earth or some Federation planet or some Federation installation, and then it could be a single starship carrying all the colonists, or it could be like a fleet, like a caravan of starships. But either way, they start out in Federation space and they leave, and they set out for this year-long journey to go way, way, way out to the far edge of Federation explored known space. And the show is the adventures they have along the way. And they could have adventures related to trying to get way out there to where the colony is going to be, or they could have adventures that are derived from conflicts among the would-be colonists, people who maybe have secrets or are running from something or to something or have conflicts amongst themselves. There's just a bottomless well of story potential here. Each season of the show can be relatively self-contained because it starts at the beginning of the quote-unquote wagon train and it ends when they reach their destination, and it's a whole bunch of story in between. And I think that could be a really cool show because you have self-contained seasons, but you also have season-long story arcs. You have plenty of room for standalone episodes, and each new season of the show, you start over. You can have some of the same characters come back. You can also have a perfect excuse to introduce new characters and cycle characters in and out, and Star Trek's never really done anything quite like that before. So if I were pitching a Star Trek show, that would be my pitch. Star Trek Wagon Train to the Stars, or whatever we would end up calling it. Star Trek Pioneers, or something like that. And plenty of room for political and social commentary, too, if you're doing a show where it's about people going to become settlers and colonists. Know what I'm saying? Lots of story potential there. That's the Star Trek show I want to see done.